Wake up, open your eyes. It is 122 AD. You are in northern Britannia. It is freezing. You are sleeping in a leather tent, crammed with 7 other dudes. The air smells like unwashed feet, old garlic, and deep regret. Your mouth tastes like a rusty coin. It is time to start the day. The leather roof is dripping cold condensation right onto your forehead. You sit up, your back hurts, your knees hurt, everything hurts. Welcome to the Roman army. You wear a red tunic. It is made of rough wool which scratches your skin. You have fleas. Everyone has fleas. They are basically Roman citizens by now. You pull on your sandals called caligae. They are heavy leather boots. They are great for marching on roads, but terrible for walking in a freezing swamp. Your toes are exposed to the cold air. They are completely numb. This is normal. Now comes the daily ritual of frustration, the armor. You aren't wearing the old-fashioned chainmail of your grandfather. No, you have the modern lorica segmentata. It looks impressive in the statues back in Rome, but here, it's a jigsaw puzzle made of spite and cold iron. 40 pounds of metal plates held together by leather straps that are constantly rotting in the British damp. You need your tent mate, Gaius, to help you buckle the back. If you do it alone, you'll pinch your skin so hard you'll scream louder than a Pict. And the rust? It's a living thing. You spend more time scrubbing your chest than you do fighting. You step outside the tent, the mud is deep and it sucks at your sandals. The sky is completely gray. You wanted to see the world. That is what the army recruiter told you back in Italy. He said you would see exotic lands. He said you would meet interesting people. He said you would win great glory and get very rich. The recruiter was a liar. You are standing in a wet field. You are surrounded by angry sheep. You are completely broke. You hear a loud shout. It is your centurion. His name is Cassius. He wears a helmet with a big sideways crest. He thinks he is better than you. He has a vine stick. He uses it to hit people who dig too slowly. Cassius yells at your unit to form up. You stand in the freezing rain, you hold your heavy shield and wait. The emperor is a man named Hadrian. Hadrian loves building things. He came to Britannia, he looked at the north, he saw a bunch of angry barbarians and decided he did not want to deal with them. So he gave an order to build a wall. Not a small wall, a giant wall. A wall that goes from one side of the entire island to the other side. It is 73 miles long. And who has to build this massive stone wall? You! You marched to the construction site. You are a highly trained elite soldier who knows how to fight in a tight formation. You know how to conquer cities. But today, you are a construction worker with a sword. You drop your weapons, pick up a shovel, and start digging. As you dig, you hit the till, a layer of glacial clay and boulders that has been sitting here since the Ice Age. Every strike of your pickaxe vibrates through your collarbones, and it's not just a ditch. At the bottom, you have to sharpen branches into deadly spikes called sippi. You bury them in the mud, creating a forest of hidden bayonets. We call them Hadrian's lilies, but there is nothing beautiful about them. If a Caledonian warrior tries to rush the wall in the fog, he won't see them until his ankle is pierced through. You wipe the sweat from your eyes, but your hands are so caked in grit that you just scratch your cornea. This is the glory of Rome. Moving mountains, one bucket of mud at a time. Hours pass. The rain gets heavier. Your wool tunic is soaked. It smells like a wet dog. You have dug the ditch. Now you have to build the actual wall. You walk to the quarry. You have to cut huge blocks of stone using a hammer and a chisel. It is loud, it hurts your ears. You load the heavy stones onto a wooden cart. You push the cart through the mud. The wheels get stuck. You push harder, you slip, you fall face first into a cold puddle. Cassius laughs. You reach the wall. You have to mix mortar by using quicklime and water. Quicklime is dangerous. If it touches your wet skin, it burns. Your hands are covered in chemical burns. You spread the mortar, then lift a heavy stone block. You place it on the wall. It must be perfectly straight. Roman engineering is very strict. If the wall is crooked, you have to tear it down and do it again. You make sure it is perfect. You lift another stone and another. Finally, a horn blows. It is lunchtime. You are starving. You open your food pouch. You take out your daily ration. It is a hardtack biscuit. It is called bucculatum. It is made of flour, water, and salt. It has been baked until all the moisture is gone. It is literally as hard as a brick. If you bite it directly, you will break your teeth. You do not have a dentist. A broken tooth means a slow, painful infection. You find a flat stone where you place the biscuit and smash it with the handle of your knife. It breaks into smaller chunks. You put a chunk in your mouth and let your saliva turn it into a paste. It tastes like dust. You need to drink. You have a wooden flask. It is filled with posca. Posca is water mixed with sour wine and vinegar. The water here is not safe to drink by itself. It will give you terrible diseases. The vinegar kills the bad things in the water. It also stops you from getting scurvy, but it tastes horrible. It burns your throat. You drink it anyway. You dream of the sweet warm wine back in Italy. You dream of fresh bread. You take another bite of dust. Lunch is over. The horn blows again. Back to the mud. Back to the stones. Back to the burning mortar. The afternoon is worse than the morning. Your muscles are screaming. The air gets colder. A thick, white fog rolls in from the hills. You cannot see more than 20 feet in front of you. The world is just white fog and gray stones. It is spooky. You hear a strange sound. It is not the sound of hammers. It is not the sound of digging. It is a loud, wild screaming. It sounds like animals, but it is not animals. It is the locals. The Romans call them Picts. The Picts live north of the wall. They are very angry about the wall. They do not like you building a giant fence in their front yard. Suddenly, an arrow flies out of the fog. It hits the mud right next to your foot with a loud thud. You freeze. Then another arrow hits the wall, and another. A man next to you screams. He falls down. Panic hits your chest. Cassius starts yelling. He is not hitting people with his stick now. He is yelling military orders. He shouts for the testudo formation. You drop your trowel. You run to your weapons. You grab your shield. You grab your sword. The testudo isn't just a formation. It's a dark, claustrophobic tunnel. Inside, you can't see the enemy. The screaming gets louder. Out of the fog they appear, the Pictish warriors. They are terrifying. They are not wearing heavy iron armor. Most of them are barely wearing clothes. You raise your shield and lock it with the man next to you. The men behind you put their shields over your head. You have formed a giant tortoise shell made of wood and leather. You hear a massive crash. The blue warriors hit your shield wall. The impact pushes you back. Your boots slide in the mud. You dig your heels in. You hold the shield with all your strength. You wait for the order. Cassius yells again. You push your shield forward. You thrust your short sword out from the bottom. You stab blindly. The fighting is brutal. It is chaotic. It is nothing like the stories. It is just slipping in the mud, trying not to get a spear in the face. But the Roman discipline works. The shield wall holds. The blue warriors realize they cannot break your line. They turn around. They disappear back into the thick fog. As quickly as it started, it is over. You lower your shield. Your arms are shaking. You are breathing very fast. You look around. A few Roman soldiers are lying on the ground. Most are okay. The mud is now red in some places. You survived. You survived another day for the glory of the empire. The sun finally starts to go down. It gets even colder. The workday is over. You march back to the camp. You are too tired to speak. Your whole body is one giant bruise. You reach your tent. You take off the heavy iron armor. You feel 50 pounds lighter, but you are still freezing. It is time for dinner. Dinner is bean mush. It is boiled beans and a little bit of fat. It tastes exactly like it sounds. You eat it quickly because you are starving. You wash your cuts with a little bit of vinegar. You wrap a piece of dirty cloth around your blistered hands and lie down on your bedroll. It is just a thin blanket on the cold ground. The tent is completely dark. You are surrounded by the 7 other men. Gaius is already asleep. He starts snoring. Another man is coughing. Another man is crying quietly. You stare at the black ceiling of the tent while listening to rain hitting the leather. You think about the wall. You spent all day breaking your back. You built maybe 2 feet of wall. It is a 73-mile wall. It is going to take years. Good night, soldier. Sleep well. Rome needs you to dig.